Hello. Hello, welcome. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk Rockets, episode 71. Rockets Devin Booker rumors and a little pre-draft talk, fellas and ladies. In 5 hours, the Houston Rockets will be the NBA draft will be going on, and the Houston Rockets are going to have a couple of decisions. I assume that they're going to be making. I want to start with this stupid Devin Booker rumor. That I am going to pull up onto the screen at the time of this. The plan right now is to be live for the draft. At least a little bit of what? Sorry, I just got a clear bot Twitter. There we go. Oh, this is Jackson Gatlin. Awesome. What's up, Joshua George? Plans to be live for the draft. The plan is to be live probably around like 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, I don't think I've done a live Rockets draft since probably Jabari. Did we do? I don't even know if I did Jabari. So I'm excited, man. But we actually have some random rumors. Houston's got the third pick. But before we get into today's live stream, it'll probably be a little quick, but we'll probably save the long chat for later tonight. Before we get into it, hit that like button, man. Hit that sub button. These shows are doing great on YouTube and the streaming platforms. We're getting closer and closer to 1,000 total plays. So hit that link down below in the description or type in Let's Talk Rockets with Jackson Elstro on your respected streaming site. Throw it a 5-star rating if you wouldn't mind, because that helps a lot building the audience on those platforms. So let's get into it. I'm really excited for next season. Hell yeah. So it's June, July, August, September. All right. And then we have Summer League beginning soon. And this is a good day, man. All right, let's pull up this tweet here. I need to make sure it's not playing. This is from Jackson Gatlin, although I believe this report, I mean, you guys already have seen this on Twitter, I'm sure. Stephen A. Smith said this. I'm reporting here. Pay no attention to what Phoenix is saying. They want out of Kevin Durant right now. Also adds that the Rockets do not want Durant and instead plan to make a run at Booker. Oh, we got Joel Embiid in the background. Let me fix that. So this is not a move, in my opinion, that will be made this year. This is not a move that will be made at this draft. If you guys have been watching the show last couple episodes, I'm a huge advocate for getting Kevin Durant over to the Houston Rockets. I'm a huge advocate for getting Jimmy Buckets, Paul George. Balin hates these takes. What's up, Balin? Nice to see you live in here. But my point is not necessarily a Kevin Durant, a Paul George, or a who's the other guy, Jimmy Butler, because obviously all of them come with issues. All of them are old, and rather than banking on like a Mikal Bridges who just got shipped to New York today, I do prefer an upgrade at small forward than I do at shooting guard. And another reason the whole Booker thing sucks is because of Jalen Green. You drafted Jalen Green at pick number 2 3 years ago, or now 4 years ago, so it's like Booker coming over, and it's the same thing with Donovan Mitchell rumors from before the offseason began. It's like, all right, well, you're throwing in the white flag on Jalen Green, and myself, I would rather have us go into next year and try and figure out what we have with Şengün and Jalen Green. But at the same time, man, you got to make moves. You got to make moves. Big L on KD or any other star. Balin, who's your free agent move or trade move for a star? Are you going small forward? Are you going shooting guard? We heard Brian Windhorst say earlier today that if the Rockets select Donovan Clingan, that means that Alperen Şengün's available in the open market. I don't think there's any world where that happens as far as Alperen Şengün being like available for trade, even if they select Donovan Clingan. Me personally, maybe that's just me, but I don't see a world where that is entertained no matter who they draft. They would be drafting basically on best player available like they should. Reed Sheppard appears to be the pick, though. Prey on the Suns' downfall and leverage them back their picks for Booker after it implodes. So, yeah, Booker wouldn't happen this year. KD wouldn't happen this year. They're very adamant about running it back, but keep in mind, man, they didn't even win 50 games in the West, and they didn't even win a playoff series. Now, my OGs will remember this guy is not my favorite Rockets reporter, but It has nothing to do with his actual reporting. So we got Solomon. We got Sal Bass up on the screen here for our audio listeners. Hit that like button, folks. We're going to make this stream tonight nice and fun. We got to get some bodies in here. So per Kelly Iko, this is the draft. This is the Rockets. Let's get you all up to date here. All right. The Rockets have many offers for 3. Several lottery teams have already offered them multiple first-round picks. Some offers involve Houston trading out of the draft completely. If the Rockets make a deal, they'll wait until they're on the clock before finalizing it, and offers could improve based on who's available at number 3. It's a guessing man's game at this point. I mean, Donovan Clingan could go pick number 1. Sarr could go pick number 1. Theoretically, obviously, Reed Sheppard could go pick number 1. Rotisserie Chicken could go pick number 1. I saw a mocker where you got Reed Sheppard going pick number 3 to Houston, and the Spurs take Ricochet. And I think that dude is a stud. And I'm actually really surprised. And I think maybe it's because he's a little bit more raw. But I guarantee you, if they end with Ricochet, that's a really good pick. But I have not seen that mocked. I haven't seen that reported. I don't even believe that they even work him out. I mean, that is not going to happen. But I just don't really understand all of the draft concern. I just saw I don't know if this was a meme, but I saw somebody sent, I think it was Ciro or Henry sent to me, like, on his evaluation on some website, like, the only positive he had was his age. But I don't really believe that. But anyways, they're not going to draft him. It doesn't seem like. Booker is a legit superstar and number 1 on a championship caliber roster. We put ourselves in position to give him the best offer for him. I want Reed as well. The only concerns, so like Mikal being traded away today, I really liked that. I wish, obviously, we didn't. I mean, I like Dylan Brooks, but you guys know I want an upgrade at 3 for when we're championship ready, which I get it. We're not quite there yet. I would love Dylan Brooks in like a Lou Dort role, but OG Anunoby on the Rockets would be, that'd be a game changer. But obviously, that's not going to happen. One big fatal flaw I see with a lot of people is it's like some people don't want to keep the 3rd pick, right? Because we have 6 young players. We have our 6 young core, right? And we need to evaluate, Tari, Jabari, Şengün, Jalen, Cam, Amin, right? These are our 6 young folks. We're about to add a 7th. And there's only so many minutes available. And then you throw in the Freight double Vs. Then you throw in Dylan Brooks. Then you throw in, technically still Jay Sean Tate, Shock Landell, Steven Adams. One big flaw I have with a lot of people is ideas for trading 3 is it would be like, I just saw a mocker. I think it was on Jackson Gatlin's Twitter. It was like, would you take the 6th pick, Mark Williams, for the 3rd pick? And it's like, all right, well, at that point, then we're like going to raise that number up to 8. Because you still have, you got, sorry, Balin, I just saw I'm trying to finish my thought. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people want to trade the 3rd pick because we have so much young talent, but then it'd be like, all right, well, you're going to trade it for a young talent, and then you're also still going to have a lottery pick. So, yeah. How can I talk ball with you? I would just have to send you the link on here. Let me hit Hoops Hype here. Seems like Reed Sheppard appears to be the dude. I don't think I had any other tweets here. I just rushed home to do this. League insiders believe, they're still interested in Marcus Smart. The Grizzlies have the 9th pick. I'm still like on the fence with a move like that. Let's pull up the Rock Show here. FYI, draft night for Team Rockets. If the Rockets miss out on Ryan Dunn, no problem. Isaiah Crawford should be the section foresight. Word. All right, let's pull this up. My least favorite interface in basketball world. Get out of here. My goodness, man. Big questions continue to swirl around Clingan. The trade-up interest, the fact Houston, Sacramento, Detroit invested in centers. Hard to picture a player with this much appeal falling outside of top 5. uncertainty around whether he'll go as BPA top 5 if Memphis or someone else moves up, or if he does fall to Charlotte. Portland. 10 minutes ago, I can feel the hiccups coming. Nets Daily. Knicks have had interest in Bridges. Nets said no until this week. His draft approach told other players may be moved, but no indication at this point Simmons is among them. All right. The KD rumor was kind of random in general. Balin, I think I'd love to have you on pre-draft. We'll probably be live at 7:30 at the latest Eastern Standard Time. But like, I just got home and I gotta pump out some videos before we get into our official watch party. Klingen's your pick. A lot of people on Twitter have huge issues with like selecting a drop big inside the top 5. I don't think it's that serious, but the whole Rockets wanted Kevin Durant rumor was pretty strange in general. But like we just saw from the trade last night, Houston's clearly thinking very long term. You got to start prepping for when you're relevant. There's a lot of things you got to prep for. This is all Knicks stuff. The Rockets still have, it's 5 hours ago. Rockets still have interest in acquiring a star during this rebuild. I don't think we're really in a rebuild anymore. Age, timeline, contract flexibility, and most importantly, timing are all factors that will play a part in their search. Yeah, KD's about to be freaking 36, man. Brandon Ingram is just not the move for me. Or if you were to make a move like Brandon Ingram, I think we're a year early for a move like that. What's up, Cozy? The LP trade rumors got yeah. So like it's the same thing as last year. I mean, we were just in so many trade rumors. There were so many trade rumors about us at 4, trading up, trading back, and what they do, they didn't do anything. But then, a couple of years ago, we had Alperen Sengun, and the Rockets made a move there. I think more likely than not, the Houston Rockets select Reed Sheppard at pick number 3. I want Booker now, but realize it would be a long-term idea, not anytime soon. I do like the idea of bringing D-Book over next year when the Phoenix Suns inevitably fail. They still don't have a point guard. I don't anticipate that to really change. If they do, it won't be Chris Paul. Chris Paul got them to the finals, or really helped them get to the finals. Phoenix is on their end this year, but I do like the idea of giving Jalen one more full 82-game season as the starting 2, and then moving forward with, a Booker or a Mitchell or whatever next year, or Ingram, or whatever people want, or whatever's available. Rockets trying to do that Pippen Barkley. We don't need a superstar. I'd be cool if we traded down Memphis for Smart, 9 and a future pick. Honestly, hate this. Like, we literally almost made the play with the roster we already have. And then you bring in, the whole, if Tari Eason played the whole season, we would have made the playoffs, which I agree with. If Jalen Green played like this, we would have made the playoffs, which I agree with. If Alperen Sengun played the whole season, we would have made the playoffs, or play him, which I agree with. And I just wish we did, even if we got freaking rattled by whoever we played in the first round. Like, I just wish we made play-in and had that experience, because these guys don't have playoff experience. So, and then, the Alperen Sengun trade rumors are because people like to just see Jalen Green's second half ascension and realize, like, that was Alperen Sengun, which I don't think was the case at all. I think Jalen Green just had a really bad first half, or a really inconsistent first half. I don't want Booker or neither one of them players. Suns have no assets beyond the worst contract in basketball. KD agent, and they just got swept in the first round. Did they really get swept? I watched minimal playoff basketball this year. Booker's going to ask God after the Suns implode and we can get our hands on a legit superstar. Superstars never become available. All right. To my knowledge, Kevin Durant has not asked for a trade. Of course he hasn't. The Houston Rockets are interested in tempting the Suns to try and trade Kevin Durant now. Windhorst ESPN says all eyes should be on the Rockets at draft tonight. As memeable as Kevin Windhorst is, and as funny as his career was begun covering LeBron James, I do view him as a good journalist. Getting swept by the Wolves in the first round, man, that is unbelievably embarrassing. Yeah, this was like so stupid. This was the whole rumor. The Rockets could dangle Alperen Sengun in a potential trade for Kevin Durant. One thing I want to point out, watch what the Rockets do tonight with the number 3 pick. This is one of the most important moments of the draft, and in many cases, this is where the draft kind of starts. If the Rockets take Donovan Clingan out of UConn, another center, which is an option for them, and now have a bunch of centers on their roster, that would potentially enable them to make Alperen Sengun, their very talented young Turkish center, available in a type of trade to dangle in front of the Suns. Potentially enable them to make Sengun. So I think this is all just clickbait, trying to stir the pot here. I like Reed Sheppard a lot. I think he is going to be great with every player on the Houston Rockets, and specifically Alperen Sengun. Rockets eyeing Marcus Smart. Yeah, nothing new today. Pelicans wanted Bridges. 0 chance. Last tweet before this play, and I'm on leaves. This is a joke. There is a 0 chance this happens. 0. It's 11 hours ago. All right, and now this is just going to be the same type of stuff. And then we had that trade. Oh my God! If we do some type of trade with the Bucks and we just land Brook Lopez, I'm gonna be like so confused. Pistons trading up for him, 5th pick and beef stew straight up. Wow, I'm all set on that, but it's not terrible. Give up Shock, elite shooter, good passer, great defender. The dude's a elite shooter. We were running through his stats on our last mock, and I mean the dude's as good as they come. I think they're trying to distract people off of Reed so we can draft them. I just was reminded of Paolo Banchero and how it was like a lock that the Houston Rockets were probably going to have Paolo because Chet was going to go 2, Jabari was going to go 1, and then we end up with Jabari. Dude, it's crazy. I mean, we can have Paolo Banchero right now, but then you could play that same game where you could have Vic, you could have Cade. I don't think Rob Dillingham was. I don't know if that was really ever believable that he was going to go as high as 3. We have 30 people in here. Hit that like button, hit that sub button. We throw these up live, by the way. Nets just exposed Stone for having Daryl Morey vibes. Why is that? He's a perfect role player because he plays great defense in an elite spot up, catch and shoot. This dude will be an impact player from day one. And I always compare him to Austin Reeves type of impact where I mean, Austin Reeves is the 3rd best player on the Lake Show, but sometimes they ask him to do a little bit too much. But let me read this. While Brook Lopez is 36, the veteran center showed last season he still has plenty in his tank. There's his stats. Multiple sources said the Bucks have made it known Lopez is available in a trade and that a spate of teams are interested in his services. Teams that could be in play for Lopez, sources say, are the Grizzlies, Lakers, Thunder, Mavericks, Pelicans, and Rockets. The Rockets heavily courted Lopez in free agent last season before he decided to return to the Bucks. Yeah. One of the worst parts about the stupid trade is we're going to Reed can come to the cookout. One of the worst parts about the trade or the drafts now is that they're just like tweeted before the pick comes. Like you're going to know who the Rockets are selecting before they select him. And we're going to be live here and people are going to be scrolling through Woj tweets and dropping the intel. I think that would be a mistake to pass out on Ristiche. Reed, DiVincenzo, Derek White, that's the caliber of guards I view him in. We don't know. There is literally no need for Brook Lopez on this team. And I don't even think there was a need to have Brook Lopez on the team last season. Like a lot of this, like we said, smoke screen's a big thing. You just never really should believe what you hear around free agency, the draft, especially the draft. Just don't believe what you hear. A better thing to say would be take it with a grain of salt. Dude, he's Reed's a freaking hooper. I think Reed's a hooper. I am so ready for this. The summer league, I'm excited for summer league. I'm excited to see Cam. I'm excited to see Amon. I'm excited to see these guys just straight up play. Yeah, let's pull up Reed's statistics because it's just crazy. NBA Insider makes a case for Reed Sheppard at 1. I mean, I was just talking about that in our show yesterday. Some big draft dude on Twitter was like, I would take Reed Sheppard at pick number 1. Reed Sheppard last season from downtown, 52%. Then get into conference play, 52%. 50% from the field, 51% from the field. Sorry. 5 assists, 2.5 steals. I mean, come on, man. College statistics in general, a little confusing. Here are his per 40 minutes, which just like per 36 is stupid, but 17 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 3.5 steals, 1 block, 54% from the field, 52 from downtown. I mean, his offensive rating, 129.4. How do I feel about the Nets Rockets pick exchange? There was a really good thread from that one dude. I think he's it's not Ben DuBois, is it? Someone wrote a really good thread on that trade and why it's probably in the Rockets' best interest to just kind of keep pushing things for the future. Somebody knows that thread I'm talking about. I'll pull it up. And you could do it. I mean, could you imagine the Jabari Paolo Banchero situation where Reed does go pick number 1? I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't want Donovan Clingan. And even if the Rockets didn't have Steven Adams, and I know it's the last year of his contract, and he could always be shipped at any point, which isn't crazy to say. I still don't want Donovan Clingan. I still just don't want Donovan Clingan. But if Reed Sheppard goes pick number 1, I'm big on Zach versus Shea, man. Long term might be a little too long. It might be selecting like an Amon of last year, but yeah. All right, Julio. I know a lot of people don't want KD because he's 35, but still producing. But why hang on to a bunch of young players? Rockets will not afford to pay them, so break up the young core except for Şengün. I think it's because we're not going to pay Jalen if he doesn't turn into at least, a star number 3 this season, right? If the Rockets, what I assume Rafael Stone believes is if you don't see what you saw in the second half of Jalen Green last year for the whole year next season, and, let's say the Rockets don't have a, first round playoff win or they get rattled in the first round of the playoffs, or God forbid, we don't even freaking make the playoffs. Well, they're going to move on from Jalen Green. And then it's not like Jabari seems like he's about to get a huge payday, right? Amon and Cam, I would forget about Amon and Cam completely when we're talking about money. Like those guys are under contract for 3 more years. I would not even think about long-term money to Cam Whitmore and Amon Thompson because they both were bench players last year. And I think another thing that's important to note here, like what you just said, Julio, is Rockets will not afford to pay them, so break it up except for Şengün. It's like that's best case scenario. People freak out about paying our young 6 players about to be our young 7 players, but it's like that's a really good problem to have. If your problem next season is, oh my God, we have to extend Alperen Şengün, we have to extend Jalen Green, like that means you drafted well, and that means things are working. But like I said, Jalen doesn't seem like he's about to get a big payday. Neither does Jabari. Tari played 20 games last season. Tari's underrated as he could possibly be in the NBA. And then we have Cam and Amon. It's like I wouldn't even worry about those 2 players. No one was having Reed one, and now all of a sudden other teams are looking at him. I want no part of trading assets for an older star that doesn't move the needle enough for us to win anything. And that's exactly what I felt with Mikal, and I put up a stupid tweet saying, like, I mean, yeah, he technically averaged 19.6, and you can round up to 20, but it was like the whole draw to Mikal Bridges this time last season was he just put up 26 on the Brooklyn Nets and, like, kind of made them second half surge, even though everyone assumed the Nets were about to tank. Like, Mikal was putting up freaking 26, like looking like a rising star, a rising superstar. And this past year, he didn't even put up 20 points per game. And it was like, I think you're a year away from that. Yeah, maybe if Alperen Sengun and Jalen Green turn into, star caliber players this upcoming year, and maybe, Mikal would help us out. But, even the Knicks stamp, like, Jalen is a freaking dog. Like, maybe Jalen Brunson isn't on paper a superstar, but he's a star. I agree. They can't afford to pay everyone, but why trade them for someone old? Trade some of them down the line to land a star that fits the timeline. Example, Booker. Only reason I don't want to get rid of them because I don't want to break up the family they built. Let's let them grow together. Warriors did it. Another good point here. Thing with Mikal is he fits our timeline and could have been a part of this team for the long run. That is true as well. Very young. So take it all. But yeah, man, if the Rockets, now with that being said, I'd take Sarr. It's funny just how draft narrative and draft discussions change and the discourse just changes because, I think most Rocket fans a month ago, if you have Alex Sarr available at pick number 3, everyone's like going to lose their mind. And now it's like, if Sheppard gets selected, I don't really want Alex Sarr anymore. The Rockets have, and it's a great comment here from Bailey, the Rockets have options, and that's what you want as a GM. Oh, for sure. And you have, Sarr and LP. That would definitely complicate things a little bit with Jabari. But I think that can be said about any draft pick. You take Klingon. All right, now we have complications with Sengun. We take Sarr. Now we have complications with, either Jabari or Penguin. You take Sheppard. Maybe you got some issues here with Jalen Green. So, I mean, now my mind's really starting to play around with the idea of what happens if Sheppard gets selected. Not a big fan of Amin. Oh my goodness. Amin could be a huge. Amin Thompson and Azar Thompson, they could easily be busts because of their lack of shooting ability, which you just need to be able to shoot. And Amin shot 13% from downtown last season, but I think in the sample sizes we saw of Amin Thompson as a starter, I think is plenty enough. And I'll pull up those stats here. Like that run when Freddie Triple V was down. Freddie Double V, why do I keep messing that up? We saw some stuff from Amin. Let's pull it up here. And you know what? To be honest with you, I didn't realize Amin Thompson started 23 games for us. But here we go. Amin Thompson in 23 games as a starter for the Houston Rockets last season. He shot 58.4% from downtown or from the field. He shot 0% from downtown, 13.5 points, 10 rebounds, like literally 10, 3.7 assists, 1.5 steals, 69% from the free throw line. That's one of the things that worries me. Oh, I was about to say, listen to this. You know what? This is really good. So here, they always say, 3-point shooting, free throw shooting, you know what I mean? Like, if you're shooting 30%, if you're shooting like 70% from the free throw line for your first couple of years in the NBA, like you're probably not going to be a, 30, you're probably not going to be an average 3-point shooter statistically. But one cool thing about Amin I didn't realize until right now was pre-All-Star Amin Thompson free throw line, 63.4%. Post-All-Star break, Amin Thompson, 73%. So literally like a 10% improvement in the second half of shooting free throws, and he did improve from getting to the line twice a game to over 3 times a game. I would love to get a pre and post All-Star break here, like we were just looking at. I mean, I know Amen pre All-Star break went from 19 minutes to post All-Star break 26 and a half, but these, I mean, he improved in every category you could possibly want. He was shooting 56% from the field. He went from 7.5 points to 12 points. He was averaging 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block, 1.5 steals. Like, he's 21 too, and he was 20 for half of last season. But to Balin's credit, you know, 3-point shooting, man. Look at guys like Ben Simmons. Celtics just want to shit by shooting more threes than everyone else. The rotated 5. But then, like, look at the Warriors, you know, and their switchability, and then it became like this lack of size issue. But I guess, you know, with Kristaps and Horford, they have plenty of size, so kind of uncomparable. But you could go back to, I mean, Phoenix and Milwaukee, that finals, like both teams shot like 33, 34% from downtown. I wonder what the Nuggets shot 2 years ago. Amen's defense too. Amen's great at a lot of things, but his shooting is awful. Yeah, Amen and Şengün, long-term starters with their lack of shooting ability is reason for concern. But you got to give Amen a second year. I just don't want to get into, like, I don't want to trick myself into thinking, like, I remember I did with Jae'Sean Tate, thinking Jae'Sean Tate could turn into an above-average shooter. One good thing that's in Amen and Azar's favor clearly is their energy, hustle, dedication, love for the game, just the need to improve. So I'm not too worried about Amen Thompson being, you know, a plus player at all. All right, fellas. That's it for today. We had a great show. We had like 30 people in here the whole time. Hit that like button, hit that sub button. We're going to be live here around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, maybe 7:30, because you know how the draft starts late. But yeah, pop in there. Check out the show, my Twitter, the link's down below, and follow this podcast on Spotify and Apple. Leave it a 5-star rating. That would help me a lot. So thank you guys for watching. And we will be live for the draft once again, 7-ish, 7:30-ish. So we'll see you guys there. And hey, what's up, Zach? Appreciate y'all, man. Great show.